I'm Brent LaRue. I'm the co-founder and VP of product at patient experience at Circle Medical. By volume, prescription issues or prescription-related issues are the top category of any support issue we see. When you dissect that further, refill requests are a pretty significant portion of that. There's a lot involved in doing a prescription refill request. There's a lot of information we have to gather. Specifically, we've used Fin now for the non-controlled substances refill requests coming in directly from the patient and conversations on our web and our mobile applications. Where the human used to do things like collect details like medication name, dosage amount, prescribing provider, confirming the pharmacy, and then creating a task for the provider, we've now updated that so that aspect is actually done now by Fin, so there's no PCA or human involvement at all. The task goes directly to the provider. So historically, we were timing to close on refill type issues was around 24 hours, where now we've seen in the last week it be reduced down to 10 hours, which is like a 58% reduction in our median time to close already. Before we launched Fin, our overall CSAT was around 80%, and now we see it around 87%. So like an 8% increase in our overall CSAT after the introduction of Fin here.
Hi, my name's Chris, and I'm a product manager here at Intercom. Now, Brent just shared how Fin's helping reduce a huge amount of time and effort for the team at Circle Medical, especially around their prescription refill requests. So we're going to jump in and see what that experience actually looks like for their customers. Now, first you'll see on the right, Circle Medical's given Fin a much more personalized identity for their brand and named it Cure. So I'm going to jump in and let Fin know that I'd like a refill for my prescription. And the first thing Fin's going to do is ask some clarifying questions, including what the medication that I'm looking for a refill is, and what the amount I need is, and who my provider is. So you can see it's asked that. And I'm going to go ahead and provide, I'm looking for metformin, here's the amount, here's my provider. Now, while Fin's thinking about that, over on the left-hand side, we can actually see the Fin inbox, and you can see the exact same conversation in the inbox with my messages to Fin and Fin's responses. But what's really cool about this is I can actually jump in to the inbox and I can show the events that are happening in the background. And what you'll see if I scroll back, you can see that when I said I was looking for a refill for my prescription, Fin identified that it needed to run this request prescription refill task. And then when I provided the information that I need metformin, what it's actually done is gone ahead and it's called a third-party system using a data connector to get my patient info. And it's pulled things such like my preferred pharmacy, which is now kind of come in and, it wants to now confirm. So it's saying, hey, is my preferred pharmacy ICO? And I'm going to say, yes, it is. That's correct. And so you can see at each of these stages, Fin is thinking through what should it do next? What information do I need? What do I need to clarify? In this case, it's come back and now it just needs to check, was Dr. Stephen Dooley the one who originally prescribed my metformin? I'm going to say, yes, he was. And at this point, Fin should have all of the information it now needs in order to be able to make one of these refill requests. So yeah, it's letting me know now that it's going to process that. And you'll see in the background, while Fin is processing this, it's going to do a couple things. First, it's going to generate a really nice summary. And then it's going to use that summary to create an internal task. This is in Circle Medical system for the prescription provider to review and decide whether the prescription should be refilled or not. And it's also going to use that same summary via an API to add a comment to the patient's health file so that there's a record of this conversation. And you can see Fin has completed all of that successfully. It's submitted the request. And it's also let us know that the provider will likely be in touch within 2 to 3 days to let us know whether that refill can be approved or not. So this has worked really well. Like you'd imagine if there was an agent involved in this conversation, it would take a lot of time jumping back and forth trying to gather this information. And now Fin is handling all of this as well as like processing requests in third-party systems without any initial human involvement. So I'm going to jump back to the behind the scenes and show the tasks that powers this. And tasks is our product for how you define this more complex procedures or processes that Fin should follow. And it's made up of 2 parts. The first is a trigger, which is like how Fin knows when to use this task. So in this case, we're saying use this task when patients are looking to refill their prescription. And we've trained it with some examples of when it should run this task and when it shouldn't. And then once it's decided to run this task, it's then going to follow these instructions. And you can see these instructions are written in natural language, just like you would write instructions for a human. So we tell Fin, like, here's what you need to ask and gather the information about the medication, the provider. We also tell Fin what APIs and data connectors to use in order to get the right customer information, and then how to use that to check if the preferred pharmacy is still correct. And as well as like doing all this data gathering, Fin can actually do some more like complex decision making. So in the case of deciding whether we can submit this request, Fin actually reviews the medication. And, if Fin doesn't recognize the medication, we might get Fin to like clarify and ask the patient to clarify what that medication is. Or if Fin recognizes that the medication is a Schedule II controlled substance, it will instead, rather than submitting a request, tell the patient they actually need to make an appointment with their appropriate provider. So Fin is doing all of this decision making under the hood, just like a human would. And then finally, to kind of like round this out, we can see like we get Fin to like write up a nice summary about what the patient is requesting, and then it submits this to create an internal task for the provider to review, and then adds that comment to the patient's file. So you can see, like, with some very simple natural language prompts, logic, and workflows, exactly like you would train a human, Fin is able to gather all of these detailed inputs, make these decisions based on the answers and the constraints that we've provided, and then submit these actionable requests in third-party systems, all within this high-stakes, tightly regulated process such as a prescription refill, which gives Circle Medical's patients like much greater confidence, as well as a much faster, smoother customer experience when making these requests.